Welcome back to IAS Net Study. And this is the ethics series, and this is the 40th video in this ethics series. In the last videos, if you look at the 2 3 videos, we talked about ethical dilemmas, then we talked about conflict of interest, then we talked about resolution of ethical dilemmas, various approaches, 5 approaches we talked about it. Now, let's move to the next topic that is mentioned in our syllabus: laws, rules, regulation. How exactly they influence your ethical guidance. Let's see that how exactly law can be used as a source for your ethical behavior. How can rules guide your ethical behavior, and how can regulation help your ethical behavior? Again, once we understood that, we are going to consider conscience also as a source of ethical guidance. So let's talk about rules, and then laws first, and then rules and regulations, then at the end we are going to take up the conscience also. See, all these laws, statutory laws, rules, regulation, they provide a formal framework. Usually laws tell you that what is right and what is wrong, what should be done, what should not be done. So this distinction usually we get it from laws, rules, and regulation. And there is a formal framework is there. And these formal framework are going to guide my behavior. I am a civil servant, or even in my individual capacity, these laws, rules, regulation, they are going to tell you what to do and what not to do. They are formal frameworks, and these formal frameworks are going to guide my behavior. See, when I am following all these things, whatever mentioned in rules, laws, regulation, this ensures accountability, and this promotes ethical conduct. Ethical conduct, ethics usually in a social perspective we see ethics, in an organization perspective we see like social. In a society I am living, there are certain ethical standards, and I am a doctor, I have certain medical ethics. As a profession, as an organization, in hospital I'm working, that organization or the profession has certain ethics. So following these laws, rules, regulations, by following this formal framework, this is going to guide my behavior. By following this, it is going to ensure accountability. If I am ensuring accountability, if I am showing that accountability and responsibility, I am promoting ethical conduct, whether it is my social phenomena, or in my professional background, or in my organization wherever I am working. And they serve as an external sources of ethics, complementing personal and organizational principles. Along with that personal, I have certain moral principles, and as a doctor I'm working, my hospital has a certain moral principles. Along with that, rules, laws, regulations, they are also going to give certain guidance, because they provide certain formal framework. So this is with respect to laws, rules, regulation. Right. Now let's talk about law, and then we are going to talk about rules and regulation. You need to understand the distinction between law, rules, and regulation. So what is the law? See, law is a set of rules. It is a system of rules. But this rule, there is an entity that is going to enforce this rule. Government has made a law. Now it is not just that they have passed the law. It is not that if you don't follow the rules, there is an authority that can punish you. So it is enforced by a legal authority. It is maybe judiciary is there, law and order agencies are there, so it is enforced to a legal authority, and this is going to govern your behavior. So this is law. The laws are set of rules, and these rules are enforced by a legal authority. And what is the purpose behind this law? This purpose behind this law is to govern the behavior of the people, govern the behavior of the citizen. So this is a law. Usually law, it shapes society, it shapes economy, it shapes the polity, because the various policies framed by statutory laws, statutory regulation, it is going to impact these things. And this mediates relationship between individual, organization, and the state, and it provides formal standards of justice, fairness, and public order. So in general we are talking about it. Law is, just remember that, set of rules, and there is an enforcing entity. And why is it necessary? What is the necessity of law? What is the objective of law? To govern the behavior, right? Now, what are the characteristics of law? The first thing is consistent. Law is consistent. It is definition is same throughout, and then there is a factor of universality. Universality, law, it is the same. Features are same in Kanyakumari. The features are same in Punjab also. So universal, it applies to everyone in a jurisdiction. For India, if you made a law, it applies to all the states here. And published. Usually, laws are published by government. A certain government documents, it is going to be documented there, so it is published, and it is accepted also. See, it is made by government, it is passed by government, parliament, I have to accept it. I have no other option, I have to accept it. I can criticize, I can question it, but I cannot outrightly reject it. It is accepted, socially recognized as legitimate. enforced, there is an enforcing entity, and compliance ensured through authority and sanctions. So these are characteristics of laws. Now let's talk about rules and regulations. See, let me, rather than explaining this slide, I will give you guys an example so that it would be easier for you to understand the difference between laws, rules and regulation. uh, what is the law? As an example, see, if you want to be called as graduate, then you have to pass the examination, then you are considered as a graduate. Certain examination you have to pass. When you pass this final examination, then graduation certificate will be given. That is the law. What are the rules? You are going to the college, and in the college examination they've told that 10 to 1 o'clock exam is there, and you have to be in the campus at 9 o'clock. These are the rules and restrictions. So if you come after 9 o'clock, you're not going to be entered into the examination. All these are the rules. And it can change from one institute to another institute, one college to another college. They can change the rules. Another college it's 9:30, for another college it's 9:45. So these rules can be changed according to the different organization, right? Now comes regulation. Regulate, it means that controlling. And regulation, what happens? You are sitting in an examination hall. Inside examination hall, you're not supposed to talk to anybody, and you're not make noise. You're not supposed to disturb others. If you do it, you will be kicked out of the examination hall. You can be regulated. So that is regulation. Law, standard, rules. At an here, rules are specific restrictions on behavior and actions, and it can be modified. Rules can be modified. Laws you cannot modify. Rules you can be modified. One organization has certain rule, another organization has certain. One college has a certain rule, another college has certain rule. So rules can be modified based on organization, based on place, based on context, and it serves as operational guidelines to maintain discipline and order. So this is rule. Regulate means I can control you. So regulation, it controls specific procedures and process within an organization. In the examination hall, you have to maintain the discipline. You should not create chaos in the examination hall. So if you do it, I can kick you out of examination hall. I can regulate the examination hall. I can regulate you inside this examination hall. In library, you're not supposed to talk. If you do it, I am going to take action. I can regulate because I have the control on library. So this is regulation. It ensures compliance with established standards and laws, and more structured than rules, often enforced by regulatory authorities. So this is the major differences between laws, rules and regulation. I hope you understood that. And now let's see the relationship between law and morality. Morality, moral standards are at the personal level. I have certain standards. At the social level, it becomes ethics. So you can interchange these words in the examination also. Now, relationship between law and morality, or law and ethics. What is that? What is the relationship? There is a mutual influence. Law influence ethics, and ethics influence laws. There is to and fro influence is there. Let me give you guys an example how exactly a law influence ethics. uh, After independence, untouchability, it is become illegal. Bonded labor has become illegal. But maybe a few years ago, 100 years ago, there was a concept of bonded labor. Even untouchability was practiced in a society. It means that social acceptance was there for untouchability. Social acceptance was there, untouchability. Social acceptance was there for bonded labor. But what law, after constitution, they have declared this as illegal. Now law is impacting the ethics. Ethics are the social standards. Law is impacting the ethics. Law has changed ethics. Certain accepted social norms have been changed by law. In the similar way, ethics has also impacted the law. What is that? Indian civilization, it is always secular in nature. It was inclusive factor was there, tolerance factor was there, acceptance factor was there. The same things are inculcated in constitution also. The idea of secularism came from the social level understanding. At the social level, the acceptance factor was there, inclusivity factor was there. These acceptance inclusivity has impacted the law also. So in constitution, secularism is added based on the principles of our society. So there is a mutual influence. Law has influenced society, sorry, ethics has influenced the law, mutual influence. And next relationship is that law can be used as a moral educator. Moral education can be provided using the law. How exactly? We have an anti-corruption law. Anti-corruption law, usually it is to prevent the corrupt related activities. Actions can be taken against any public servant individual if they are involved in corruption related activity. But through anti-corruption law, what are we upholding? We are upholding the values of honesty, we are upholding the values of integrity. Through law, we are ensuring moral education, we are ensuring moral conduct. So this is another relationship between law and ethics. And the third is law is dependent on moral support, morality or social acceptance. The reason is, see, we have a law against child marriage, we have a law against dowry. Even though we have passed laws against child marriage and dowry, it is still prevalent in the society. What is the reason behind it? Because there is no social acceptance to it. Since there is no social acceptance to it, law becomes disabled. Here it is not up to the mark. Yes, on theoretically, yes, we have a anti-dowry act, we have a we don't support child marriages, but still these are happening. The reason is there is no moral support, there is no ethical support at the social level. So the support of people, the support of society is very much important to make law effective. So these are some of the relationship between law and ethics, law and morality, right? Now, let's see the differentiation in a simple term. We are going to have a deeper, you understand the relationship here. In the next slides, we are going to see the differentiation between what is law and what is morality, and deeper differentiation between law and morality. Law is, it is state-backed statutory law. Parliament passes. It is enforceable. Entities are there, and it regulates your conduct. And morality, it is more of, I have certain morals, or the social morality. So it is personal sense morals or from a societal sense. And again, this also talks about right and wrong, but this is not enforceable. You cannot arrest me for breaking morality. See, this is not enforceable. And ethics moral is like a individual morality or a societal morality. Ethics usually we see at the professional ethics or organizational ethics or a community based ethics. So there is a systemic reasoning about moral conduct guiding both individuals and institutions. So law, morality and ethics, all three interact to maintain social order. All the three are very much necessary to maintain the social order. It guides behavior, all the three. So it guides behavior and it elevates the moral and ethical standards of society. All the three things are important because law influence morality, law influence ethics, ethics influence law, ethics influence morality. So you can interchange this law and morality. Ultimately, law has influence on morality, morality has influence on law. So can we consider this as a source of ethical guidance? Yes, we can consider this as a source of uh, ethical guidance, and you give the reason. Whatever we have studied the relationship, you give that as a reason. Now let's see the difference between law and morality. What exactly law controls? My external actions. See, if I break a law, then only actions can be taken against me. That is law. Morality is that even if you think something negative, something immoral, it is considered, even your inner actions, inner motives, your thought process, even that is also going to decide whether you are moral or immoral. So your thinking, that also decide, morality decides your thinking also, where law decides your external conduct, external action, noticeable actions. And it only see when exactly the same thing, only when action happens and cause harm. If I am breaking law, it means that I am causing harm or I am not following the legal established policies or norms. That only it comes to the picture. But here morality, even if I have bad intentions, then also it becomes unethical, then also it becomes immoral. And law applies everybody, same for everyone in a society. Law is, it is universal in nature. But morality, it varies from person to person. My moral standards are different, your moral standards are different, and even from time to time also. Sati was accepted 300 years ago, socially accepted. Now it is not accepted. So it has changed. Even the ethics, social acceptance, it has changed. And precision law is very clear and definitive. And morality, there is no precise moral standards or considerations, or there is no definite standards or formal agreements here. And authority, yes, there is law is enforced by authority of a state. And morality, it's not made by state, or neither it is enforced by state. And punishment, you have a legal punishment if you don't uh, follow the law. And there is no physical punishment or for the breaking of or not upholding these moral standards. And yeah, this is the difference here, law and morality. Next, we talked about laws, rules, regulation as a source of ethical guidance. Now we are going to talk about conscience as a source of ethical guidance. Now let's see the what exactly conscience means. Then we'll see whether can we accept conscience as a source of ethical guidance. See what exactly the conscience is. Conscience is it is values that are internalized, that is going to manifest in your conscience, or it is some kind of inherent aptitude, or your conscience, it is associated with emotions, or it is associated at the kind of conscience is the kind of inner dialogue within yourself, within himself. Within myself I am having certain inner dialogue, or it, my conscience, there is an influence factor. What is that influence factor? Family, education. So there is an environment factor also. To some extent it is going to impact my conscience. So conscience on the whole, these are the internalized value system, these are emotions, these are internal conversation person has within himself. So this is what conscience is. Now can we take it as a guide of ethical guidance? Conscience is an internal guide that helps individual distinguish between right and wrong and make ethical decision. See, for ethical decision making, we have talked about deontology, we have talked about teleological, all these things. In real life, you have to make a situation. There is some situation in front of you, and you have to take a decision. You are not going to talk about Socrates, you are not going to talk about Aristotle, all these things. First and foremost, you are going to take a decision based on your conscience. Whatever thought process you have, based on that you are going to make a decision. So conscience, yes, it guides your ethical behavior, but can it be considered as a only criteria? That is the thing, it has to be balanced with other actions also. See what happens if you don't listen to your conscience. It will lead to a concept of crisis of conscience. Crisis of conscience is that your mind is telling something, you're doing something else. We have discussed that in the second or third unit. See, when there is a crisis of conscience, this is going to create some kind of guilt, this is going to create some kind of dissonance, this is going to create some kind of unrest. So yes, conscience can question is that can you consider conscience as a source of guidance? Yes, it can be taken into the source of guidance, but the thing is the other moral aspects also should be considered along with the conscience. See, if you are impacted by all if you have only negative attributes or some kind of selfish motives, then if you think that I am going to decision, my decisions are based up purely on my conscience, then consequences will not be positive. So consequences along with other moral standards, yes, we need combination of both these things. And role in decision making. See, conscience is a capacity. Let's see the definition. Conscience is a capacity, intuition, reflective decision making ability, whatever I have in my mind, that prioritizes moral consideration. It helps answer ethical question when rules, laws, external guidance are unclear. See, when I have certain kind of dilemmas, or I'm not sure what exactly rules are talking about, and I'm not happy with the laws, there you have some certain kind of some level of dilemma is there, and you want to make a choice, you want to make a decision. In those kind of situation, conscience helps you, helps your behavior. Conscience becomes a source of your ethical guidance. And conscience urges people to do right thing and causes discomfort when considering or committing wrong acts. See, my political leader has told me something and I don't want to do it. If I follow my conscience, if I follow these kind of positive attributes, I'm not going to commit something wrong, something unethical. And yes, it plays very important role in decision making. It involves reflective thinking, weighing moral implication before acting. I'm going to think before doing whatever I have been told. I'm a civil servant. My superior has told me to do something. If I listen to my conscience, I'm going to think twice that is it going to create some kind of unethical consequences, or is it something unethical, is there anything immorality in that. So based on that, I am going to consider whether it's right or wrong. Based on that, I am going to make a decision. So I am going to way, I am going to consider these moral implications also before acting. Now, practical insight for most of the people, most of the time, ethical intuitions from conscience are reliable. Even Aristotle, if you look at the how exactly the moral guidance comes from, some of them says that it comes from the conscience, some of them says that you can learn through the experience, and some of them says that it can be learned through the education. So there are some of the philosophers, they have subscribed to this particular thought that conscience, whatever the conscience, whatever the thought process you have, that that is going to decide your ethical conduct. Some of the philosophers, they have supported, even Aristotle, he has supported this idea of conscience as the base of your ethical behavior, or it can be considered as ethical guidance. And conscience complements, that is what I'm telling, conscience has to complement with something. What exactly it has to complement with? Conscience plus law plus rules plus social norms. So when combination of all these things, it ensures ethical behavior. So conscience serves as a personal and internal moral compass and guiding decisions when external rules or norms are ambiguous. When the external rules are ambiguous, you don't know what to do, and these kind of situation, you apply your conscience. But there are certain circumstances where your conscience should be complemented with rules, laws, and social norms also. So while generally reliable, it must be balanced with reason, law, and ethical principles to avoid biased and harmful decision. See, if I am only negative attributes, then if I only listen to my consciousness, then outcome will be negative. So there will be biased outcome, there will be harmful decision. So in order to avoid that, there should be a balance, there will be a rationality behind my consciousness also, that should complement that. And why is it necessary? Importance of conscience for bureaucrat, politician, and citizens. See, conscience, it acts as a moral compass. Moral compass, it guides individual and institutions to make ethical decision, and especially for politician, bureaucratic, and at the citizen level. Let's see from three dimension how exactly conscience impacts us. Political level. Political level. See, I am a one of the party member, and my political party, it contesting elections. Now, political leadership, they have decided that at any cost we have to win this election. Now the thing is, they can go for manipulation, they can go for unethical act. Me being a member of this political party, I have got some guidance from my political leadership. Now whatever the guidance I saw, that I'm not happy with it. Now my conscience, it is questioning the guidance given, or the details given by my party leadership. Now I am going to, if I input my conscience there, then I'm going to distinguish what is right and what is wrong, and I'm going to do only the right thing, I'm not going to do the wrong thing. Yet at political level, conscience helps, it helps to corruption, it helps to reduce nepotism and profit seeking behavior. So it helps politician to act in a larger interest of the society, and it ensures adherence to the constitutional principle and promotes good governance. At the political level, at bureaucratic level, I am a civil servant. Now again, my superior or the political leadership, they have given me certain guidelines. It is my duty, I political leadership do the policy formulation, I am going to implement the policy implementation is going to be done by me. Now my political leadership is telling me to do something unethical. If I listen to my consciousness, then I am not going to do that. I am going to distinguish what is right and what is wrong, and I am not going to do something unethical or something immoral. So, even for the bureaucrats, also, conscience is very important. This is going to ensure the ethical guidance. Guides bureaucrats in ethical decision making, especially during conflicts between following orders from the superior and exercising independent judgment. So, you have certain judgment and your superiors are telling something. These kind of situation, conscience comes into the picture. Or your political leadership has given you something, and you want to decide out of this what is right and what is wrong. Their conscience come to the picture. And it prevents blind obedience, because I am uh, putting my conscience at stake now. I'm testing the situation through my conscience. So I am not doing a blind obedience here. So I am going to decide what is right and what is wrong, then I am going to take a decision. Here my conscience plays very important role here. So this avoids unethical, harmful outcomes. And even at the citizens level also, if I am conscious citizen, then I make sure that I work for a collective good, I work for a public welfare. I am going to be a healthy contributor to the overall development of a country or overall welfare of the public here. Collective and individual, again, conscience at the citizen level, you can be seen at the two level: individual conscience, collective conscience. It reflects moral and ethical health of a society. It encourages responsible actions. If everybody uphold these positive conscience and value based conscience, then some of the actions like keep surrounding clean, participate in elections, fulfill your duties, all these things, if you participate in all these things, this is going to strengthen civic responsibility and this is going to strengthen the democratic values. So conscience at the bureaucratic level, it is important. At the political level, important. The citizen level, it is important. A well informed active conscience at all level, political, bureaucratic, citizen, is essential for ethical governance, social responsibility, and overall well-being of a society. I think this is it for the day, guys. So thank you so much for listening. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good day.